How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome to Strictly Nintendo, where I want to take a moment to share with you a little story about how my fit meter actually really impressed me. Now, some of you may think that this is a goofy story, but for me, I think it's just kind of neat. And for those of you who have a fit meter, maybe it'll give you a little reassurance. It's been raining a lot lately here, and just 2 days ago, it was raining pretty heavily. And towards the early evening, the rain subsided, so I had some things in my car that I had to get out, and I was like, well, now's as good a time as ever. So I started making the trips back and forth. And somewhere along the lines, I knocked my fit meter off my waist, and I didn't know because it landed in a pile of wet leaves, so I never heard it, never felt it. And anyway, I get inside. This is around 7 o'clock at night. I get inside, go about my evening, go to sleep, and wake up the next morning for work. Now, the forecast said that it was supposed to get just below freezing that evening, somewhere around 28, 29 degrees. I don't know, I was asleep, and I don't know if it rained anymore that night because I was asleep, and it didn't rain, heavy enough to wake me up if it rained at all. Anyway, leaving for work, I lock the door, turn around, and right there in front of me, still sitting in that pile of wet leaves, is my fit meter, completely drenched. Now, I'm sure that they have an O-ring in there to prevent it from being damaged from sweat, but the level of sweat that this would be exposed to is nothing to the level of rain that this was exposed to. So it was completely drenched. I mean, you could have might as well just dunked it in a glass of water. That's what it was like. But it was sitting in wet leaves all night. It felt like an ice cube when I picked it up, and I was just like, all right, even if there's no ring in here and it prevented the moisture from getting in and damaging the electronics, cold drains batteries, so now just have to remember to pick one up, at the grocery store next time I go, and hope that it still works, because there was some information on there that I hadn't transferred to my Wii U yet. Well, just to see if it did in fact survive the evening. I know it can survive a few falls because it fell off my belt onto carpeted concrete at work, and it fell off my belt onto hardwood in my parents' house, so it's actually a little bit durable there. I just held that center button and booted up just fine. No issues whatsoever. Everything was good to go. I held it in my hand as I walked to the car and watched it log every step, so I was quite impressed by it. And the very next day, the company I worked for was moving. It was a 13-hour day, and I logged just under 20,000 steps that day. Needless to say, there was some Epsom salt in my future that night. But it's just, you might think it's goofy, but I think for a $20 accessory, to have it proven that it's that durable and reliable is pretty cool. Now, I'm not saying, go take a shower with it on or throw it in the freezer or play baseball with it, and throw it and so forth. I'm not saying abuse it, but maybe if you have a fit meter, it'll just give you a little reassurance that this is actually a tough little device, and I think it speaks volumes for Nintendo's quality control. If you might find the story goofy, you might like it, just thought I'd share. Until the next episode, I do hope to see you in the next episode, but until the next one, take care.